MSI is just finishing its group stage, but now we're headed right into the Rumble stage. And speaking of Rumble, we're about to have a close Rumble here with Chris Sunga and Shanghai representing for Feathers for ZG, Chris Sunga for FOF, Friend O for Esports. Esports. Chris Sunga, to start with you, how are you today?
I'm doing great. It was a pretty busy morning, but now I'm kind of winding down. So, yeah, thanks for having me.
Nice. What about you, Shanghai? How's your day?
It's my first day off in 48 hours, so I am feeling funky fresh.
Congrats.
48 hours? I want to say that's actually taking
Yeah,
a long time.
I work very long shifts.
Oh, I see.
Sheesh. 48 hours like straight?
Yes, I'm a
My.
firefighter.
Oh, God. Okay. God bless. Thank you.
All right. We're gonna get things started with the first topic we're going on for MSI. So, in case you didn't notice, I'm gonna bring it up what MSI is all about. MSI is just basically mid-season invitationals, where all the best teams from around the world gather together to compete, determines who is the best team internationally. So far the previous winner was RNG of LPL or China. The second place happens to be Damwon Kia from Korea. So that actually happened a little bit of controversy because of the fact that Damwon Kia was a dominant team for and they finished off losing RNG with a 3-2. But now with this case, Damwon Kia is out of the picture and RNG still stands. So with this, the six teams that are now going to the Rumble stage is T1, who happens to gotten an 18-0 record streak with a couple games more, 21 I think on 0, I think 21-0 so far, and along with RNG, along with G2, but EG also steps in line with also PSG Talent, Pacific, and BCS Vietnam has come back for Saigon Buffalo. So if you don't know the history of Saigon Buffalo, the other team that's supposed to play in this was Gigabyte Marines, GAM Esports, and they were like the top dog that almost beat all some of the major regions going on. But now with VCS coming back, and coming back to the Rumble, they might actually have a huge impact on whether or not this could impact them going to the playoff stage or not. But how do you feel about like when you think about returning organizations and all that too, making impact to setting a stage onto the international events?
I'll let you guys chat this one out, to be honest. I'm not super caught up on MSI, but I'll let you guys chat this one out.
I gotta be honest, I'm like a huge fan of the wildcard regions. LJL in particular was my favorite region for a while. I was following DFM through their playoffs in LJL. Then I was very sad when they were finally knocked out here last Saturday or was it Sunday? I don't remember.
No, I know. But yeah, only reason why I bring it up is because you two are organizations also. Chris Sunga with FOF and Shanghai with ZGG. I don't even know which one's the older organization. ZGG. What's your history again?
So we've been a tournament league for about 4 years now. Originally, we were known as ODL Overdrive League. After we went through like two different owners, and eventually we rebranded.
Okay, Chris Sunga. What
Yeah,
about you?
let's,
Your history.
yeah, he's older than I am. We're only 2 years old, still baby toddler. Um, Toddler org. We just celebrated our 2-year anniversary last Monday, which is also the day of like our grand finals too. So it was like it was
Oh,
perfect.
that's big. That's actually pretty big.
Yeah, we went all out. Me and my friends, me and my friends also produced like music, so we produced like a whole music video, everything, whole original song, big
Oh my
montage and
gosh.
everything. Yeah, it was a cool event.
That was
And we
really
played
fun.
it before. Yeah, we played it before grand finals. It was really cool, really heartwarming to see like a lot of players that have stuck with us even from like day one,
Mhm.
2 years later, that are like seeing their names again, even though they competed way back then. They're like, oh my god, it's me again in the 2-year video. It felt good. That was great.
Well, considering enough, like I mentioned before, you two are organizations, and how an organization has managed that a return organization, especially like BCS I mentioned, has managed to come back internationally. So, ZGG, I know you guys have a spot for Platinum League, but they turned it down, as far as I heard. We'll get back to that later, but um, when you think about that situation though, like what would you be considering about when it comes to like getting a spot for Worlds? Like, would you say that's actually a huge opportunity, or would you say like for amateurs, it's like you could actually bypass, you can actually like ignore it and then just like go on with your career more, or is it like something like you want to grasp upon?
I think it depends on what you plan to do as an org. Like for example, for Aegis, which is the team that declined their spot,
Yeah.
they decided to not continue on as an organization, which is why they declined. Uh,
Ah.
Sun Leviathan, which is the team that is going, is one of the teams that was owned by one of Excellency's higher ups, and he also did Affliction League for a point in time. But he's more focused on growing that into an actual like organization,
I see.
and so he thinks
Oh,
that M Worlds will be good for that.
okay, that's fine. In terms of Aegis Quantum, they're still as a team, or you said they're officially disbanded?
Oh, they're I believe they are officially disbanded. I know that they at least parted with half of their roster.
Oh, I was gonna say, if possible, it looks like, because the whole point of ASC, what I want to bring about is, so we're gonna gather them together for season one MSI, just like bringing them together for a fun fight. I do have a system ready for these two in case, but you also have two gold players, two gold teams, Mitris, Templumage, or Imperial Gaming. Why don't you just talk about them? I know they're
So
still in the finals, but talk about them, like what their thing is.
Imperial is an organization that's been with us for probably close to 4 years. They've changed their names a couple of times. Originally, they were Flash Gaming, and then they were Illumination Gaming. Uh, they're comprised of people that have been like veterans for 4 years, whether that's been in gold or IBS. Some of them have moved up, some of them have moved down from platinum. Uh, but they've been around for a very long while. Not just in ZGG, but just in basically every league that I can think of.
And what about Matches de Fromage?
So the Masters of Cheese, which is the English translation, you're struggling a little bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say I had to like double take for a second when you said it the first time.
I thought no,
They
I thought for a second fromage. I knew what fromage was, but I was like cheese. But I didn't know what mattress. I thought mattress was
Yeah.
like Mater, but I was like also for master. But I was like something else that's more. I was like, oh wait, master cheese. Oh, that's such a good name. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
The good
they've come. They're originally were founded by some old ZGG admins. So they're pretty much brand new to the scene. Their players have been around a while, but they've never played together in like an official capacity before now. And I think they're probably projected as favorites, though. They played against Imperial in the upper bracket earlier, and they did actually lose to them.
Oh,
They
okay.
got knocked down to the lower bracket in that regard. So it'll be a little bit of a like a revenge match.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say this actually could be a spicy twist if they are interested in planning on attending ASC here if they want to. But I do want to speak about that because on the other hand we have Chris here to talk about your two teams, you team Yubi and team Baby or BB.
Yeah, baby and Yubi. So Yubi, full name is Universal Basic Income. Long ass name, I know. Basically, they came in season 3. We just finished season 5. So they came in season 3. Brand new team. We had no idea who they were, but they were just a group of kids, like college age kids that were like, we're looking for a fun league to play in, and they just happened to stumble upon ours. Little did we know that they would clap everyone basically, and kind of just show like that ranks don't matter that much when it comes to like the full 5v5 team coordination and all that. And they won season 3. They came back season 4, same roster and everything, and a bunch of new players, bunch of big teams came in, much higher ranked. Still couldn't beat this team of friends. So they win season 4, and season 5 they just won again. Slightly different roster this time. This time with kind of some new people, but they're just like a group of friends that have, as far as I've been told, have just grown up together and just play video games together all the time. And
But
they just
wait,
happen to,
but
yeah.
wait, season 5 though, did they clap?
They clapped baby pretty handily. And it was, I want to say it was the games, the score was 3-0, but I want to say the games were actually closer than the
Oh,
3-0
okay.
score would suggest. And they went through a roller coaster ride. Like this last season was our most competitive season yet, and like even they were kind of struggling. They they didn't even go into playoffs as like the number
Mm.
one seed or like the fan favorite to win the whole thing this season. Team Baby, Team Beep Boop, they were the ones that were favored to win. They were essentially a team of people who comprised of all players, like all veterans that have competed in FOF before, and they all just decided we need to build some super team to try to take down UB.
Oh no,
Uh,
not Team Liquid.
yeah, and they pulled the Team Liquid. They got some like star players in our community, and like I honestly I'm realizing now that this finals like all 10 players were all veterans for the first time ever,
I mean,
which was cool. Yeah.
you can't really be surprised about it ever since like LCS actually brought in old veteran players also like
Mhm.
Bjergsen and there's
Yeah.
also Biofrost and all that too. Who knows?
Right.
Like assuming like amateur players to actually come back to competing in such like competition and all that could actually be a really good like hype up moment where it's like, oh, I'm gonna come back to this team, but I'm gonna move on to another team afterwards, and then I realized,
Yeah.
oh, we basically just got screwed over like our best player or something like that, and then you just
Yeah.
realized about that. Honestly, I like super teams, but that kind of situation when they pull a Team Liquid, it makes me nervous. But if they actually made it work, looks like they made it
Well,
work. They looks like they made
well,
it work though.
sort of. Yeah, similar to our boys on the other league. Sometimes at the end of the season you might have some falling outs, and that team I do not know the status of it currently. It's last I heard it's up in the air.
Mhm.
So there's a chance they're not participating. Have if they aren't, there is a backup team known as TDE, who basically were the third place winners, and they were sort of they were a team comprised of members from the past as well, but also members that have won in previous seasons, and um, this specific team is filled with like a bunch of like really smart analytical players. Like we have casters from like LCS Academy. We had like Joshi, Zenzen, and there's like Ultravox and
Whoo.
Rafa playing. They ended up making a team to compete in our thing. So they were the ones that were gonna try to be the ones to take down UB as well, but they fell short. But should Baby not participate, I think they're up for the challenge.
Oh, like I said, this is
No.
very spicy. Um,
Yeah.
so I brought these two teams because brought these two teams from each group because considerably I thought it's like one group wouldn't be as good of a content as it is. So I thought, let's bring in two teams. Let's just bring in MSI. And I know it's usually like the top team from it, but it's like let's break the rules a little bit. For MSI, for ASC, I was thinking just bringing in two teams from each organization, but this is only you guys. I was wondering if if your teams are interested, which obviously if they're not, that's totally fine. But in here in ASC, dude, we are planning to make this a very intense, but also a very very like hyped up organization. Not organization. I want to call it an organization, but I do want this league to be like an actual league instead of like an organization. But in this case, whereas like an organization would come over to this event to participate and see what it's like to compete from a higher end, like Worlds, MSI, and all that too. Just like how NA amateurs are doing it right now. But also, I do feel like, um, in any case, it could be a good practice session too. Like you never know. One in the case, like, oh, maybe we can just make small money out of this too. And even though we're big, even though we're probably gonna be fan favorites, all that too. Who knows? Maybe the other team could have fan favorites and clap the other fan favorite team and all that too. So this could be a huge hype moment where I was gonna ask like, hey, let's just bring in some teams so where it's like in this case it won't be as good as like what other like historical organizations does, but it's at least a good start. And frankly, I do my goal here in AC League One. I do want to like bring in a lot of like organizations to create like any amateur, like always hoping to collaborate with them in someday, but create a huge ass like events where it's like everyone else like that sees this event going on, they do want to participate, and it'll be a huge like an actual amateur like NA like IBS and gold plat and all that too. So what are your thoughts about creating this kind of this kind of like dream where it's like this could be a world's like amateur moment, like this could be this could be the year where NA amateur teams are actually now like possibly being able to be recognized, like to compete internationally and all that too, or not internationally, but along with or other organizations.
Nationally. Yeah, I think the coolest part of this idea is just in amateur esports, there's very few avenues where we can collaborate with each other,
Mm-hmm.
like just from one league to another. It's just like when you're talking business and when you're talking trying to make content and stuff and grow your org, like obviously collaboration becomes a huge factor in growth. And just in esports, it's really hard to find opportunities to collaborate just because there's very few. But this is one of the cool opportunities that you can kind of do that, should it work. And if it grows to be a big thing, I think this can be something where like when you're creating a team for a league, like not only now are you thinking about just winning finals, you're now thinking about something past that. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's like the promise of something new, you know. So it's cool.
All right, Shanghai, what are your thoughts?
I'd kind of mirror that pretty much entirely. So there's a lot of potential for it to be kind of just like viewed as another thing to do, but I think there's also a lot more potential for it to be kind of uh, yeah.
Kind of
I had a train of thought. I promise. Uh,
Well, let me just basically state this then. Not knowingly, there's no international event for Academy, like LCS Academy or Proving Grounds and all that too. They do have like playoffs and all that too, all blah blah blah. But they don't have any for international. They don't have any for other organizations to gather and compete about. Like there's only LCS wise, base wise, and there are also things like LCK Challengers, there's LCK EU Masters and all that too. But think about it, like
right.
if we bring those team together, like imagine how hyped that would be for like NA, EU, LCK, LP, whatever it is, to see that people go international like that and see, oh, what if NA actually become fan favorites and all that too? Like that could be the hype, and all because of you guys, ZGG and uh FOF and all that too. Like that's what I'm gonna give you a little hint on that. But what are your thoughts about like that kind of thing could be a possibility?
Given that there's actually like no actual avenue for it, right? It would be like brand new space, and if there are teams that are willing to, and I'm sure that there are going to be, then it's going to probably lead into kind of what the LJL has right now. You know what I mean? So LGL does not have like an official Riot translation, so it has a whole community brought to fan translate.
Oh,
So
Yeah,
some casters
LJLOU,
like
man. Heck
yeah,
yeah.
like Jiaoxi,
Yeah.
some other pretty prolific casters bring that to life, and I imagine we'll probably hit something like that. I mean, granted, we won't need a fan translation for casters because we'll already be in
Yeah.
the English language, but
yeah.
uh,
Lost your train of thought again.
I did. It happens frequently.
I'm with you, man. Yeah, like the idea that like LJLOU exists, which love them by the way. They're great.
Mhm.
You should definitely watch them.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
So Riot doesn't have like an official LJL like English thing, so they're those guys kind of just like I was able to get a chat with Nightmare and Mass One, the guys that made that. Is super cool. They were just like bored one day and were just like we should just make our own LCS broadcast and do it in English. Like people like that are just willing to just stand up and just be like, let's just make it.
Mhm.
Are the ones that are gonna like pull that idea or that dream into reality,
Mm.
maybe in international worlds. Although I will say, international amateur is just like I imagine that's just hard, just because international, like international affairs, is just hard for everyone to do. So, but I'm with you. Yeah.
Especially especially like a lot of things in solo queue in terms of rank flex doesn't really matter, to be honest. If uh, I lost my train of thought. Oh, okay. A lot of things from that point of view now have gone downhill because rank is now proven to be like not even as competitive as it used to be. Diamond players now have a freaking huge ego maniacal like mindset. Even plat players are like more humble, like gold players somewhat, but plat players are not too. They're more humble than diamond players are not too. Because I heard from some certain like players and all that they have a huge ego, but all because like the fact that now with that kind of situation, there's literally no competitiveness in terms of like these amateur like organizations and all in these leagues. So it it makes people doubt about whether or not amateur players can have a chance to compete and show what they're made of. You know?
Yeah, I mean, rank. I mean, there's just this theory that there's just like no plausible or no realistically like fair way to count MMR. It's just one of those things that I've just heard in the past. Um, but what I've heard some orgs do, and like I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this, but feel free to let me know. I know some orgs and some people pitch this to me have abandoned the idea of rank eligibility into their leagues. They started to appoint like values or something, like where they take your rank is taken into account, but things such as like how long you've been playing, how many games you've played, what your win rate is in ranked, or what your win rate is at a specific role. Some people are sort of doing this idea that you can put a value to a player's amateurness. If that makes any sense to you
No,
guys
I
as well.
get it.
Yeah,
I see
yeah.
where you're going with, but to be honest, in my opinion, it seems like a lot of work unless they actually pull it
Sure,
off.
sure.
If they could pull it off, but honestly, that seems like a lot of work, considering like you have to put in a lot of effort for like coding and all that too. You have to in terms of like listing, and not
Of
only
course.
that, you have to put in a lot of effort on figuring out who all the players are and just stack it up every single person to constantly update their rate and their stats and all that too. And
Right.
frankly, in my and from my point of view, I would not like that, but whoever that person is that made that, I'll give full respect to them for actually pulling it off and just like
Of
giving
course, yeah.
exactly. But Shinga, yeah,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts about what he said right now?
I don't actually think I've heard of that before, but I do kind of like the idea. Now,
Yeah, it's
whether or not
interesting,
that
right?
it's
Yeah.
you're right, yeah, whether or not that it's practical or if it's the future, so to speak, is and it's entirely another thing. But
Hmm.
it's just the idea that something might exist that does something better than the rank MMR.
Okay. But yeah, all these kind of situations though, like we can bring it up to the higher ups, but obviously they want to keep it as a system to where
Oh,
it
sure.
actually does
I'm
pull it
not
off and
saying
all.
no. Don't change anything. Don't change anything.
No,
I'm
no,
just
no.
saying. Yeah.
I'm just saying that kind of situation would work, but if we bring it up, I think it wouldn't work anyways to other places because their system is already consistent, and they actually think it works the way it is anyways. But little do they know, right? Please. But honestly, the way amateur organizations go with these kind of different, like you want to like kind of like break the system kind of things, and I like that in a way that you're trying to like break this whole like cycle
Yeah.
and create a little more fun out of it. And honestly, though, that actually really acts a little bit more from people who actually like look at it with a different point of view. It's like, oh shoot, they're gonna create this kind of system. Like maybe like this could be a fun team, and when they check it out, it actually does make a huge benefit for that, and it possibly could make a huge blow up out of it. Um, that's
Yeah.
why that's why I feel like leagues should have this kind of like mindset where it's like we do want to follow the system, but at the same time, what details should we add into it? Like you like would you want to like keep it as like more LCS based, LCS like lock in, or possibly create like some sort of like eligibility system where it's like you have to be like this or that, or in a matter of case like what you said before, value. That kind of thing could actually help you raise more if you play more games, get a lot more win rates. But then again, I thought about it. And it's like, what if people grieve on that? What if people actually see that and actually like grieve upon that and
Yeah.
take a
If
huge
it's like
disadvantage?
if it became like a proven thing, you know, I feel like it could potentially work. There's
It
some merit to
would,
such an
yeah.
idea of like a tournament elo system compared to like comparing it to solo queue or flex queue or whatever. I think something like that's just interesting to have and be great for all amateur leagues and amateur tournaments. Should the future of esports mean like more tournaments, more local stuff, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the idea where they were trying to take Clash, and then it just kind of fell by the wayside.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, with the tier system and everything. It's hard. There's like, and I'm sure Shanghai, you guys have experienced as well. Like, it's hard to nail formats, and if
Uh-huh.
once you've nailed it, to change it, because once you've like have this sort of consistent format, everyone's like, and you add like one change to it, everyone just like, starts to freak out or something like
Uh-huh.
that. Or like new players come in, they're like, "What is this rule? I've never seen other amateur orgs use this." And it's like, I don't know. It's sort of weird sometimes. It feels like there's no like no one ever taught everyone how to do like league tournaments. I feel like no one ever like stated like this is how all tournaments should be, kind of like a
Right.
set sort of guidelines that like if you run into X scenario, this is the official what you should do, anything like that. There's no like Bible or anything. These
Yeah,
sports, so
no, this is all
yeah, it's all free form. Yeah,
as you go.
yeah, crazy to think about. Sorry, I rambled there. Go on.
Shinkai, what are your thoughts?
So I think for the most part, it's the idea of changing something doesn't mean that it has to change, right?
Right.
But it puts forth that you're thinking about actively improving, which is the important part.
Mm.
You can be content, but always look for something to improve.
Okay. Okay.
Hard agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially with this whole like the funny part is that while amateur organizations are now blowing up, it's my opinion, but honestly, if you guys agree or disagree, but honestly, Riot's international events are starting to crash down, in my opinion.
I've heard about how MSI's
It's bad,
MSI's sort of
yeah.
quote unquote failing. And yeah, I just feel for the producers. It's got to be tough. Like y'all just got out of COVID and like are trying to pull on one of the two international events of the year. Like the one
Right.
time you can't mess up, and like ooh, it's God, is it a mess? From what I've heard, seen.
No, yeah. And I personally like thought it's like, man, where are we gonna go with this, and whether or not Riot's gonna actually see this and change this. Obviously, with this situation, I don't want any form of like latency, or rather like any like laxity meaning like laziness from any organizations, because it's an organization anyways. It's a league. You want to make sure you want to make as good a hype as possible. You want to make as good as you can. And if it doesn't work, then it's not, maybe the league's not right for you or whatnot. But frankly, I do like it if a league has to be more active and more like upfront about it, to be more hype and to be more like uh I call it crazy, to be crazy enough to like bend these kind of rules and systems to make it more fun and all that. And I feel like from that standpoint is where mid season would be the best time to like create like a break system here to like, it wouldn't have to be MSI like system format, but it has to be something you have to think about like, what would be something we could change in this format? Like it has to be groups. It could possibly be like, oh hey, we're gonna take like I don't know what kind of examples there are, but you get what I mean, right?
Yeah, I think no matter how you structure the format, there's always going to be some dissent because a lot of
Yeah.
people like one thing and a lot of people like another thing.
But there
Uh,
is a possibility
so
you
like
can combine those, right? There's a possibility you can just put those two together and it actually works.
Well,
there's potential, but I think it would be really difficult. Like for example, some people like single round, a lot of people like double round. So what we've done in DGG is for our gold league, we've kind of adopted the world format, uh, which
Groups.
is 7 weeks regular season, and then the 7 weeks playoffs, which are double elimination. Uh, People were complaining that it was best of three for 7 weeks instead of best of five. People were complaining that the 7 weeks were BO3 instead of BO1. So there's always going to be like the
yeah.
dissenting voice, but whether or not it has any merit is
You guys
another
ever heard of
question to have.
Arrow's impossibility theorem?
No.
It's
I do not believe so.
it's the theorem that like it's a mathematical like proof that like no fair voting system exists. Um, like no matter what, you cannot please everyone with a voting system. And then when that theorem came out, a bunch of people basically saying that applies to a lot of things. I honestly think that applies to formats as well. There might not be like a perfect format that exists that'll just appeal everyone, especially because I don't know. no one has set a precedent for like things like international stage because everyone's done different things, all the different games.
Yeah, no, that's something I always consider about. And um, obviously CGG's Gold League has not finished yet, but with a standing point on what FOF has to create season 5. And wait, what season are you again for CGG Gold League?
I believe we are at 10.
Oh my gosh, how long has it been?
That
4 years?
that checks out. That checks out. 4 years they've been doing 10. 2 years we've been doing 5. Math checks out.
Whew.
There you
Dang,
go.
that's no. I was just saying. I was say you took too much. You put too much time into that organization. You must love CGG, huh? No,
It's a sunken cost fallacy at this point.
no.
I'm with you. I'm with you, brother. I'm with you.
No. Yeah, I get it. I get it. But where was I going with this? Oh yeah. So, because how long the league is very consistent. Like but I don't know what. Obviously, I don't know what your system is for ZGG, but if you actually changed some things and actually made it a little more like different, I don't know how you guys managed to pull it up, but you probably like had to change something every single season or something like that in order to make it work. Is that true or not? CGG.
I think we have made at least one significant change every single season.
Everything else has been
Uh,
consistent then, right?
yes,
Okay.
the format, usually we have a consistent gauntlet. We haven't had that for Gold League because we've gone to the Worlds format. And we've been really figuring out how to format a gauntlet into it. But otherwise, we've been fairly consistent format wise, mostly because looking at format makes my head hurt, and I have someone else help me with that.
Okay.
But for the most part, we've been fairly consistent. I think the only significant change that we had in the past year is that we actually started charging an entry fee for our leagues.
Oh, I was gonna ask
We've
about
gone.
that. How did it impact for your league? To be honest, did it actually made it better, slightly better? Did it made it way better, slightly better, neutral, slightly worse, or way worse?
So from it depends on which metric, right? Because the amount of teams that applied are definitely lower,
Hmm.
but at the same time, we didn't charge a huge entry fee. We started at $25, and that's just a flat entry fee for every single league.
I was gonna say,
Uh,
I would say as a college student, not even I could have paid anything with $25. But
that's fair. That's fair.
continue,
Uh,
continue, continue.
so for the most part, I think it has been net neutral in terms of admin enjoyment. I guess would be the best way to describe that. It has been relatively better for the competitive side, I do believe.
Cause
And
you have more
I,
money in the prize pool, huh?
yeah, well, theoretically.
Okay. No, that makes sense. That makes sense.
So I started paying my casters and producers in the last year. So I think we're approaching 3 or 4 splits that I have started paying casters. So I've been running
God
ZHG at
bless.
a negative for about 1.6 thousand a year, or a split rather. So I am probably currently at 3,000 down. So that's why we started charging the entry fee to start
Of
negating that,
course.
or at least
Of course.
mitigating it. But I've only made less than $600, and I know I've made less than $600 on entry fees because I didn't get taxed for it through PayPal.
Nice. Nice. Nice.
You know you just Venmo, right?
I could do that, but then that requires me to have my name to everyone, which is kind of
Yeah, business account. Business account. Yeah.
that's
I'm
fair.
with
That's
you.
fair, but
I'm with
that's a
you,
lot of work.
PayPal.
Okay.
No, PayPal. PayPal business account.
PayPal business? Okay,
There you
that
go.
makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Oh, anyways, continue.
So I think at the end of the day, it's kind of like a net neutral, maybe right upwards leaning.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that the significant change affected most of the people that have been here a long time. I think there were in the beginnings there were a little bit of a rough whether or not it would be worth it because, to be quite frankly, our last split was a little rough, but that was because mostly of admin burnout and among many other things. But so I think it's an improvement from last split, but also just a net above total just from the entry fees.
Only because they got paid. To be honest, no offense, but I was just say only because they probably got paid, huh?
For the most part, yeah. The admins are still volunteer,
Okay.
but the productions
The
and
admins are volunteering. It's just the casters are getting paid.
yes.
Oh, respect to the admins. Whoever the admins are, you guys are. Oh, my
To
heart
be
just
fair, one of the
flutters.
admins is also a caster.
Well, there you go.
I mean
Yeah.
that, but also like doing it as a volunteer, like I wouldn't even give myself for money to all that too. But that to
Right.
give yourself up for nothing, like that person, I would just be like, yo, can you just be my boss for like forever? Like you don't have to pay me and all that too. But it's like, dude, can you just take all my money and just work here for me? Bro, it's like freaking all these people who actually work like for the sake of it. I like those kind of players who not players. I like those kind of people who just end up like doing that too. But yeah, I'm gonna move on a little bit too. Sorry. Going to Chris Sunga for FOF. You have a season 5 and all that too. You're in your 5th season and all that too. A little bit
Yeah.
short while unlike CGG, but how have your organizations has made it consistent?
Well, we copied from day one. We copied the original LCS format where it was just like BO1s, double round robin. Everyone plays each other twice, and then single elimination playoffs at the end. It's a really short format, but we found that it's it's been good for player burnout. Like it's just short enough that it doesn't kill these players or our staff. And even though like people have wanted like BO3s, BO5s, but we kind of just stuck with the BO1s, just regular split, just because like unfortunately for us, we don't get to pay everyone. We're not at that level yet. But so everyone kind of just wants to take it sort of the chill route. But since we've done it for 5 seasons, we haven't done many revisions as far as format or like rules.
So far, so good.
Um,
Then
yeah, so far so good. But a lot of it is just because of the fact that we copied like original LCS and just being able to say like these were LCS rules, like that's usually good enough for any player that like fights a rule. Which again just brings up the idea that there hasn't been like some like esports bible like all rules should be like this. So
no,
we
okay.
just took the closest one that we could get, which is Riot. So yeah, we've been fairly consistent. People have lately though entertained format changes, but just over time, people have just sort of kind of accepted that this format's just the best format for most people.
You know what to
So
say? You know what to
yeah,
say? Just turn it into a lock-in. Just put BO3s in the playoffs. Then you have BO5s in the semifinals and then finals BO5.
yeah,
That,
we do BO1s all through regular season, and then playoffs are all BO5s.
no, I'm at BO3s. I'm not BO5s. BO3s.
Oh sure, but yeah, right now our playoffs is all BO5s.
No, yeah. I was gonna say, this guy. It's like this guy's saying things from coming from the guy that makes the FOF music videos and all that.
Yeah, well, that's part of the reason why we're sort of still alive. So I don't pay everyone, but
Yeah, you don't pay
I
everyone, but you don't get cash yourself, bro.
I
There's something wrong with that, bro.
no,
There's
no, no,
something
no,
wrong with that.
the biggest advantage that we sort of just have is that the group that I made the whole thing with we all came from like art school or like film school, so we
Oh.
were all in
Hey,
production to begin
film
with.
student here. Film
Oh,
student here, bro.
yeah, man. Yeah, man. Keep the grind up. So all of the quote unquote like outsourcing that we would have needed to do, like for like graphics or transitions or streams, like it's all just comes out of my hands, right? So I haven't had to pay anyone. So I've never had like, thankfully, a negative impact on my wallet throughout this whole thing, and everyone's volunteer. The only negative impact is that I do promise all of my staff, because I do kind of know my staff on like a personal basis as well. I do offer all of them. I buy them all Korean barbecue at the end of the year, like a big Korean barbecue dinner.
Oh, you guys are
Um,
local.
Yeah, we're all at least the staff mostly is all
Not
local.
fair. I wish I was
So
living in your area.
sorry. Yeah, I just treat everyone to Korean barbecue, and they're like, "Yep, this is good enough payment," and I'm like, "Okay, appreciate that." But we've like doubled our staff since last year, so the end of this year is gonna suck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say for all your season and all that, you guys have a huge history from both of you guys. We're gonna conclude a little bit off, but I do want to say this. From you guys, your two teams, if there is any team UB, Team Baby, MDF, and Imperial, If by any chance they're interested, you guys, if they're interested, you guys can send them this video or not as an invite for them to compete. It's just only a small tournament, because we have to figure out which we're gonna put them in, because there's gonna be independent teams, like teams that are they gather friends together to create a team basically. And honestly, I don't know how it's gonna handle, but in the end, the winning team gets $150 for MSI with the coach too, so it's $25 each. If they're interested in all that too, you guys can send this video, or I'll just basically send them just like a card, like on a card, but like a virtual card, just telling them you're qualified if they wanna participate for a short stack of money and all that too. Um, Possibly I might think about it too. I might give an organization $100 to the winning organizations, and to actually spice things up, you know. And honestly, coming for you guys, I would like to ask your opinion. Like, would that actually be a little more? Like, would that actually be like with the most spiciest thing? Like, whichever organization wins, they get $100 from that organization.
Yeah, I mean that's just hype in general. I'll say, like, don't pour all your money on us,
No,
man.
no, no,
It's
no.
just
No.
hey,
This money, I actually like made a plan for it. Like, I actually stacked on it
uh,
for my thing too. It's like I
sure.
probably have enough money for like whatever the case is and all that too. So I'm just asking you guys for your opinion. Like, do you think that like giving an organization like cash, oh not cash, but money for itself will make things spicier? Because that way, organization will actually be like, hey, maybe if we actually get to participate in this, we might actually have a chance to win this tournament and all that too. So I don't know your guys' opinions, to be honest. What do you guys think?
It definitely adds another layer of incentive, right? So I think for the most part, teams are motivated by two things:
Mo-
recognition and money.
yeah.
Uh, for the most part, teams have been just content with recognition for a very long time, but I think they're starting to more veer towards a rightward skew of they want more money now. Which I mean, not necessarily bad, but it's just a little
No, I get it, yeah.
more difficult to appease every single team and give them more motivation to do something.
No, that's why I started a little bit small for 150, but at Worlds at the end of the year, I'm putting at 300 because it'll be like, okay, so we actually basically got mid season, but there's also more to that. If you actually win, I was planning on to create like a more entry fee for Worlds also at the end of the year, so that way it'll be
Mm.
like, oh, if you win, you get a free qualifications to participate at Worlds and all that at our Worlds and all that too, along with like banner and all that too. You basically get a role and all that too. So I have a huge thing going on here, but I'm just wondering because you guys have history and all that too, and I do want to create this kind of league where it's like it's built beneficially for certain organizations, but at the same time, it's like it's more like I do want to like create a gathering here and all that, and hopefully it'll be like a really fun moment for organizations to just come by and it's like come have their teams compete and to create like an actual like organizational worlds or MSI kind of thing. And there might be other teams that might join in too. So I was like, okay, let's see what's going on. But so far, I was wondering if your teams are if they're available or not. Just like what they're up to and all that.
On my end, well, like I said, Baby is they're in the middle of trying to they're in the middle of League of Legends rehab, so is the way I'll call it.
Okay, that's
So
fine.
I will kind of let them figure their own stuff out because I think they were all good friends prior to competing, so I'm pretty sure they just want some time to decompress and all that after like
That's fine.
what 11 weeks of competition. Yubi on the other hand, they're always hungry. I'm sure they're ready to fight.
Okay, I'll set the mood for that UB. But what about CGG Gold League, MDF or Imperial?
So I think MDF will probably be all for it. I mean, they've been a very hungry team, kind of similar to UB, I suppose. But Imperial has a very tight schedule. They work. I say work, but they play in a lot of different leagues. Not just VGG, not just BOL. I think they play in Risen. They play in Aegis.
And especially they have especially another organization. Wait, does ZGG for Gold League have AM Worlds also?
Yeah, we were invited to the Amateur Worlds.
Well,
So we'll have
not just gold. I'm not just plat league. I'm talking about your gold league.
yeah.
Oh,
So all three of our leagues have been invited to an Amateur
whoo! You're
Worlds.
stacked then.
Our IBS has two teams coming. Uh, our gold and plat both have one team.
Dang. Well, honestly
Congrats.
though, I always say from the bottom of my heart, your IBS team better win. I swear. Cause honestly though, I swear, I don't know about teams, but I heard that like IBS like whoever like competes and all that, they're not good. And I'm hoping that there's gonna be that one team that actually claps to show they're actually dominant and all that.
Well, I think for the most part, IBS is pretty equivalent to gold. They're probably mid pack of a gold league. Their communication skills, especially the ones that actually make it to the finals in DGG. I mean, we've been running that league for 3 years. We've been kind of known for it, I suppose. More of like a founder role than anything else. But for the most part, I think it lends to credibility that the finalist teams are probably mid-pack gold teams and could probably take a game off of a gold finalist or at least a playoff finalist.
Well, this is me coming. This is me coming from well, me as an ASG member coming to you as to a ZGG member. I give my basically my spirit, my whole like copium all the way up to your IBS, all the way up to your gold league, all the way up to your plat league. I hope they actually succeed in the NA amateur worlds and all that too. Honestly though, I have not seen Risen or anybody else. Like I have not talked to them for a while, but except for you guys, CGG and all that too. Cause honestly, you guys have been active when I was trying to message all you guys. So I was like, you know what? I'm in a fan favorite ZGG. Let's go ZGG all the way. But yeah, I see a fill for Team UB, MDF, and there's another team that's possibly joining in. So this could be only a first place fiesta here. I'm gonna have to set up the system here for this, but if they are interested, if they're interested, the competition is gonna start at June. I have to see what date it is, but it's gonna start at June 7th or something like that. Let me check it out right now. MSI will take place to June 6th. It's gonna be on a Monday, I think. Yep, on a Monday. And it's gonna be late. It's gonna be as a PST, so I don't know if you guys are okay with that, but unless we'll find out. 7 to 10 p.m. PST. Mainly like 4 games, but it's just gonna be based on what we have right now. It's gonna be pretty short while. Hopefully it won't be like too harsh, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We're a PST org, so I'm with you.
What about Chris? What about Chris and all that too? It wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt your time, right?
No,
Or not?
no, we're PST. Yeah.
Oh, perfect then. Okay.
So ZGG on the
Yeah.
other hand is
Yeah.
CST or EST, depends on that. So
Yeah, so I
it
said
might be a
PST.
little bit rough for that, but
Okay.
I think if teams are interested, they'll make it work.
Okay. It's just only one game per like since it's groups, it's just BO1s, then we're gonna move on to like playoffs and all that too. Since it I have to figure it out, but honestly though, I might as well make it a little different system here, but I'll let you guys know at the end anyways, but I'll let you guys know the beginning of the tournament starts at June 6th. You guys are already free to qualify and all that too. Everyone's free to qualify. That's why it's called invitationals. Um it might actually finish short while, to be honest. This is only like 3 teams or whatnot. So
Right.
whatever the case is, you guys can tell them whatnot if they're interested or not. But so far, I'm excited for ASC to see 2 teams from first place coming over to Rumble to fight to determine who is the best in this league. It's gonna be Team UB or Matriz than Fumage. But overall, we're gonna conclude it with the fun day topic. Oh God, Chris, I know you know the fun day topic we talked about.
Remind me.
Hottest female champions.
Ah, yeah, I do remember that question. Yes.
Well, today's topic is hottest male champions.
Ah, okay.
So
The
Shanghai,
answer is,
Shanghai,
the answer is Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Shingai, you're in for a treat. So, this is what we basically talk about. We talk about the hottest takes here, or hottest like topics here. Just so we can get a little bit of laughter and then or a little bit funny here. But today's topic is about hottest male champions. Chris has had the opportunity to talk about his favorite female champion, which
Yeah.
I hardly like cringed at, but it was okay. But it was Hextech
I
Janna.
cannot believe you are judging my pick, bro.
It was not judging. It's not judging. I literally said I was like, okay, I respect it. Obviously I have a different pick, but I'm like, okay, I'm here for that. But
Oh my God.
but here's another one for the hottest male champions. I do have a list here that not from me, but from certain like reports and all that to articles that these 6 are considered the most hottest male champions. So they are Varys, Tarek, Ezreal, Jace, Talon, and Graves. So if you have any disagreements or agreements, you let me
Brand.
know.
Well, I thought this was obvious, bro.
Hold on, let me-
Brand. Or maybe Aurelian Soul, because he's like a star.
Okay, Aurelian Sol, because he's a
Stars are
freaking
killing.
I consider as a man. Like he's like legit an adult man, like in a body of a spiritual presence. But Brando, you don't like it because he roasts people. He always likes to roast people out of like giving a hot body, get it, hot body,
Mhm.
and a burning like passion, get it. But yeah. But
Yeah, my pick.
that's just oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna say this, Chris. What's your skin? Because there's always a skin that comes up with it,
Oh, I've actually never played Brand, so I don't even know what skins he has.
bruh. Okay.
I'm sorry.
What about
Oh,
you,
come on,
Shanghai?
You gotta use the Debonair.
Debonair.
Debonair Brand skin?
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Shanghai.
Uh,
what's
Anyone
yours?
finely dressed.
Shanghai, what's your
My
hottest man champion?
top tier hottest male champion. It's gotta be Meowrick. Come on.
Who? Who?
Meowrick.
Oh, Meowrick. Oh,
He's got
Okay.
everything going for it. He's got the V-neck all the way down to his fucking pelvis.
Oh my God.
He's
Hold
got
up.
the hot ass beard. He's got the muscles. Hell yeah.
hang on. I'm
Meowrick,
looking
man.
at all the champions right now, and I swear, I don't know if you agree with me, but I have a certain champion that I like. It was the only guy.
Oh,
that
he's
I,
got the torn sleeves too, with the showing off his
Uh-huh.
Oh
muscles
yeah,
and
exactly.
everything. Yeah.
But okay, since I'm a I want to say I have a huge male simp like for champions. I have 3. I'm gonna let you guys guess on who they are. Give me the range.
Rakan. I'm trying to remember the League of Legends champions now. Rakan. I don't know, Tarek and Rengar.
All right, Shanghai. What about you?
I'd go for Set Graves and Viego.
Oh well, you got one of them correctly. One of them was set.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, now we have one down. What about 2? I'll let you choose different ones since they're wrong. But 2 other male champions that I like.
Can't remember all of them. You go for the guess.
What if it's Silas and Twisted Fate?
No,
That's a shame.
and it's not Gragas. Just although Gragas.
Tell us what it is.
Okay, my 2 champions. I would say Jarvan, but I was like, no, I got second before. But my 2 champions male champions that I liked is actually Braum and Akshan, and Set.
Oh,
Okay,
there
that's
you go.
fair.
I
Mainly
see.
mainly because
You have a type. You have a type.
oh, look carefully. Look, Chris, look carefully. Do you
Uh-huh.
you see Akshan as a freaking I want to call him Indian. I almost called him Indian for a second. As a
Sure.
Middle Eastern man with a freaking grappling hook, who just
Mhm.
comes at you like a freaking Aladdin. Like, I'm here
Yeah.
to save you, my prince, my damsel in distress. He's that
Persian
kind of guy.
prince, bro.
Yeah, Persian Prince. That's why I like him. Braum,
Yeah, man.
you can't really deny his freaking like, what is it called? Like those that starts with a V. Like his it's one of those.
Daddy?
No, it starts with a V, not D. It's one of those old fashioned mustache people.
Oh,
The
I don't know.
Vaudevillian?
Yeah, vaudevillain.
Oh,
He's like that guy. He's like buff. He shows off his manliness. That's why I like him. Set,
awesome.
he's a bad boy. He likes to fight other people. That's
Yeah.
basically my soulmate right there. So that's why.
Yeah.
If any case I would have choose.
You're,
If any
you're
case,
into alphas. I see.
yeah,
You're into alphas.
yeah, exactly. If any case,
I see.
if I had to choose like simpler champions, Pantheon, There's also Jarvan, like I mentioned.
This you have such a type, bro. Like
Or
so
or
honest.
or 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 I like Rengar, but I also like Rakan. Rakan's my also
Mm.
my also second favorite. Rakan.
I got you.
Wait. Is this a sound of Chris this judging me now?
No, 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 not at all, not at all. No, absolutely not. I still stand by brand though.
Okay. And what was yours again? Shanghai. What was it again? Yours.
Yeah.
Miara. Okay. Wow, we have really like far off like comments here.
Yeah,
Mine's
yeah.
Akshan,
I
yours
like
is
to think
Yorick.
you seem to have taken this question a little bit more seriously than us two. It looks like.
It's a funny topic, man. It's a funny topic.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes you gotta take it serious on what you like the
Right,
most.
right. No, I'm with you. I get it. Heck yeah, man.
Wait, was it? Hey, what is that supposed to mean, huh?
Nothing.
But yeah, that's basically what we're gonna conclude it with the funny
Mhm.
topics. But Shanghai, how was your League Lounge episode? Like that, honestly, that was fun, huh?
Yeah, I enjoyed this. I'm not usually a podcast guy, but this was enjoyable.
Yeah, I want to say as a podcast, but I do want to make I do make these kind of episodes to, for other people to watch so that they understand like, oh, where we're coming from and all that too, and to give people like a taste of what we have to give to them and all that. So ASC is proud to present what we have like Hotline League and all that too. So just giving like a little more hot takes, a little more like fact checking and whatnot, like why we think this kind of thing system works, or whether or not we kind of think like this would be the best option or something like that. So that's what League Lounge is, to give out a little bit of our opinions, to give out a little more free speech to other people that basically think about, oh, hey, I kind of think about this setting, and but more on what this case is, it should be. And that's why for this one it's a little challenging and a little more anxious for me, because coming from you guys are different organizations. You guys are also like sort of admins and owners too, so it gives me a little more like more anxiety, because you might have different minds and all that, but you guys kind of agree with each other on that too, and like respect each other's opinions and all that. That's why I like this kind of situation where it's like, you know, people respect each other's decisions and all that too. It works. So I
I think
want to
there's
make
just
sure.
like there's just a connection between tournament organizers. We all have had nightmares dealing with situations, and we just understand. We just look at each other and just like deep breath, deep breath. You're amongst friends.
Yeah, exactly. But apart from all, I do want to like create a like actual group uh League Lounge. This is the first group League Lounge that we ever made. But above all, I do want to create like a huge ass like League Lounge episode where it's like everyone from all the organizations are gathered around, and we're here to like create a roast session. It'd be great if we have a roast session. For a League Lounge. You know. Oh,
It's bad for PR. I'm told I'm not allowed to trash talk other orgs. So
no, I I
yeah,
get it. No, I get it. I respect it. I respect it on that too. But I'm just saying, imagine how funny it would be to actually like respectfully roast other organization and all that too. Like it's like, hey man, I respect your decision, but frankly, I'm better than you. But yeah, Chris Senga Shanghai. Although Feathers, I did tell his Feathers and said, if you want to try, if you want to do this episode, he's like, no. I like, frankly, I am interested in all that too, but frankly, as one of the admins on all that too, because frankly, I think he said he's busy with something like all that, so I was like, I respect that. So he told me to contact you, Shanghai. So thank you, Shanghai, for making yourself available to attend this League Lounge episode.
Yeah, of
Uh,
course.
any shout outs, Chris Sangha or Shanghai? Let's start with Chris Sangha, FOF. What do you got to say for your shout out?
oh yeah, shout outs to all of the staff that are gonna watch this and probably poke fun of me saying, look, okay, first of all, I just want to say that you are the third, like, okay, this is like the third podcast within the past week that has asked me who is the hottest male champion. And
Wait,
so, like, yeah,
Wait, when
this-
was this?
straight up, like, I did a couple, and they all asked, like, what is the hottest champion? What is the hottest male champion? Just like, what
Are you
is
serious?
you all asked that, and I'm sure when I show this to staff later, like, dude, everyone's asking. I don't know.
I guess
Everyone
the universe
wants-
is trying to
everyone's-
send you a sign.
Yeah, for real, for real.
Or maybe it's a calling card that you should play Brand, man.
Yeah, man.
Wait. What role do you play, first of all?
When I played support. But I haven't played in a
Maybe that's why.
while. Yeah, maybe. I guess I
Or
can play band support.
or any other shoutouts? Because I think you weren't done, man.
Yeah, just shout outs to my staff that worked really hard this season. They did a lot to free up my schedule, which is just a huge benefit, and I'm just eternally grateful, of course. So yeah, shout outs to them, and shout outs to Shanghai. Thank you for joining me on this lounge.
Hey, I'm the one who joined him, bro. I'm the one who
Ah.
asked him.
Thank you for inviting
don't go
Shanghai.
take all the don't go take all the credit, Chris. I invited you too, so don't just go taking all the credit, bro.
Thank you for organizing. Thank you for inviting me.
Shanghai, what about you? Any shoutouts?
People have to earn my shout outs anymore.
Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
You don't see me, but I'm bowing down to you. I'm bowing down, bro. Wow. Oh, what this is now. That's what I call. Hey, screw this. Make Shanghai a male champion for League of Legends, man. He's a true alpha.
He's a Chad, bro. The way he speaks and everything, just a model human being.
But yeah, thank you guys for joining us this episode, and this is episode 9 of League Lounge. We're here to talk about the MSI and all that too, but stick around, there might be more later on. But overall, League Lounge is gonna end right here. But stick around, we happen to have our tournament in June 6th on Monday. Hopefully, UB and MDF will be by, along with other certain independent teams that are gonna join here to sign up and all that too. So it's gonna be a much bigger match, but who knows? There might be an underdog team that might be ready to clap MDF or Team UB and both of these teams. So stick around. Thank you guys for watching this. It's your boy Juicy, or JK Juicy Kim as general, and this is League Lounge episode 9. See you guys later.